Hello Ben, hello Tom, this is episode 3 of Meet Me a Scooter. You are welcome to it. Now I was hoping to have an update video on the bike this weekend, but unfortunately the weather has not been kind to me. I did try and record a few clips yesterday, but the wind was getting picked up on the mic and they were pretty much unusable. Today the forecast is that it's going to rain for the rest of eternity, and I don't know if you can hear the rain on the shed roof. So in an effort to get something out, I thought I'd go over a few housekeeping things today. First of which is the channel name. So loads of you have been asking me why it's called Meet Me a Scooter, so we'll get into that today. By loads of you, I mean Ben mentioned it in passing when we were playing Gran Turismo. The other thing I've been doing this weekend is it's proving really hard to move the Honda around, and using the bread basket and stuff. It's just not going to work until I can get a kickstand sorted out. I need to come up with another solution. Now that's where this comes in. So this is a prototype dolly. I've been working on it just with bits that I've got salvaged from old stuff that's getting thrown out the workshop at work and stuff that was being scrapped. It's too high, so I've got to lower it loads. I've got another two wheels for it in the car, but the idea is that I can put the back wheel on this and move it all around everywhere, and it will look a bit more professional than a bread basket which bends. It is very much Mark 1, work in progress, but hopefully it will make my life easier. So we'll see how I get on with this. I thought about documenting the build of this, but I'm pretty crap at that stuff, so you just watch me making loads of mistakes and then redoing them. So I'll keep you updated on this. We'll get onto the name thing, and then maybe I'll introduce the Little Ferrari. Right, so first of all, onto the naming thing. Now, every new YouTube channel needs a name. Meet Me a Scooter wasn't my first choice, but we'll get onto that. It also needs a logo. Now, I'm about as good at graphic design as I am at restoring old scooters and working out how YouTube works and video resolutions. So, fairly pants, as you can see. Now, I was pretty proud of that, but it's clearly not usable. So, unfortunately, I turned to the dreaded AI. So, I've always found it fairly hilarious on YouTube when you'd get these intros that are like lightning and or flames, and like there's usually drum and bass pretty hard, or maybe really heavy metal just banging it out, and then when it cuts to the video you're faced with a neckbeard like me who's doing up a scooter or showing you his stamp collection. So I thought I'd turn to ChatGPT. So let's see how that conversation went. So along that vein, I've asked ChatGPT if he can design logos. He tells me he can. He needs company name, brand, style, colour, blah blah blah. So I've gone, okay, design me a ridiculously over-the-top logo for a brand new channel on YouTube about a guy with a big ginger beard and a ponytail restoring an old Honda scooter, and include flames and a Welsh dragon. Let's see what we got. So ChatGPT sounds quite impressed with my logo concept. Fiery red bearded man with a ponytail, possibly wearing welding goggles, classic Honda scooter, half restored, one side shiny and pristine, blah blah blah, flames, Welsh dragon, comic book look, custom heavy metal style text, just what I'm looking for. Now at this point it reminds me that I forgot to tell it the name of the channel. So I say, let's call it Meep Meep Scooter. Yeah, let's see how that went. Now then, that is an epic logo, and I think we can all agree it's slightly better than my effort. There's just one glaring error. Well, one or two, if you ignore the fact that I've only got 3 fingers. I obviously, as we can see, asked it to call the channel Meep Meep Scooter, and what it's given me is Meet Me a Scooter. So, okay, ChatGPT, let's try that again. So, I asked ChatGPT, can you do exactly the same again, but you spelt meep wrong the second time? You spelt it Mia. So, ChatGPT had another go, and as you can see, it didn't do so well again. In fact, not only did it spell Mia wrong again, but we actually lost some of the detail, but you wouldn't notice that unless you were looking really hard. So, let's try again. So, take 3 with ChatGPT. Okay, the top line needs to read meep meep, not meep Mia. And it thinks about it for a while. All of these images took quite a while for it to generate. It finally comes up with meep meep scooter. Hooray! Unfortunately, we've lost quite a lot of detail now. All the rivets have gone from the wording. More importantly, the scooter now has no handlebars. Very strange. I'll count a win though. I have now got 4 fingers. I am beginning to feel like ChatGPT is getting a bit bored of me asking these questions, and quite frankly, I'm getting a bit bored of asking ChatGPT these questions. So, alas, the channel name was born, and I stick with the first one. So, here we are at Meep Mia Scooter. Now, yes, I know, if I'd have used a human to do this, they would have got it right the first time. But unfortunately, I can't afford for a human to do this. And as we all saw, my attempts were pretty dire. So there you have it, folks. We're back to square one. We've got a logo that has a scooter with handlebars. Well, half of handlebars. I've got 3 fingers. The writing's got rivets. And the name of the channel is forevermore Meep Mia Scooter. Welcome to it. So there you go, that's the story of Meep Mia Scooter naming convention. I did say at the beginning of the video that I'd introduce the Little Ferrari, so here she is. She's a Piaggio Typhoon XR. She was my daily for over a year. It's been a bit up and down with her. She also led the ride out of the Aberystwyth Scooter Rally last year, which was a very bizarre experience for me. Currently her petcock is stuck open, easy. And there's a few carb issues, so maybe I'll document them on the channel and fixing that up, hopefully order some parts next week. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and tune in for the next one. Thanks. Beep, beep.